So, how often do you finish your presentation early, like a week early? Did you even know that was possible? Well, it is, and wouldn't that be great? So, that's what today's video is about. If you want to start finishing your slides early and stop stressing out and scrambling to finish your slides at the last second, watch this video. Today, I am going to teach you my best productivity tips so you can stop scrambling to finish your slides on the plane or the days before the talk. Now, be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you all about this free toolkit that you can download. Now, just in case you're new to my channel and don't know this, I help academics, scientists, researchers, evaluators, and similar professionals create better presentations. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified when I have new videos, which I post every single week. Okay, so chances are you're watching this video because you've scrambled to finish your slides before. Okay, we've all struggled with this. And then after giving that presentation, you probably thought, oh, well, that didn't go as well as it could have. Next time, I'm going to start early and I'm going to be prepared. But then next time happens and you're just barely keeping your head above water. You're very overwhelmed. So then you present and you're feeling exactly the same way you felt before, that it happened again and, really wanting to do it differently next time. So yeah, I'm guessing you can relate, but I want to hear from you. Comment below. Is this something you struggle with? Do you struggle with waiting until the last second to start working on your slides or to finish them? I'm guessing you do because just about everybody does. And a lot of us feel like we're the only ones that something is wrong with us, which is not true. So just comment below. Let's all sort of support each other in the struggle. We've all been there, so we can help each other. Okay, so here are 3 steps to ending your procrastination and finishing your presentation early. Let's begin with step 1. This is when you write down all the presentations you have coming up on one sheet. Get a bird's eye view of the entire year if you can. And that's it. That's step 1. Super easy, nothing major. It will only take you a couple minutes, but it's really important to do this. And when you're done, you can feel accomplished because you are already on step 2. Okay, so step 2 is when you create an accountability strategy or multiple strategies to follow to make yourself start working on your presentation early. You cannot just tell yourself it's going to happen and then have it magically happen. You need to create a plan so that you are held accountable. And I know you know this. I know this is not groundbreaking, and yet here we are procrastinating, right? So we know we need an accountability strategy, but do we do it? A lot of times we don't. So this is a reminder that those kind of strategies are really important to plan and then make happen. Here are 4 ideas. So the first one is learn about the Eisenhower matrix. So you'll probably notice that you're always stuck in important and urgent, that quadrant there. So it's about what you want to do is make an intentional effort to get better at working things that are important but not urgent. So you're not always in a crisis. You're not always putting out fires. Honestly, I think this is probably one of the biggest ones. I also think making sure you get really good at actually blocking off time on your calendar for presentation work. A lot of people don't do this, but if you aren't making time on your calendar, it's just not going to happen. And presentations are absolutely worth it. They are worth having time on your calendar. Another idea is to create or go to a special environment where you only work on presentations. A lot of people really like this and really benefit from it because the environment gets you in the mindset to work on that thing. So maybe you already do this for writing manuscripts or grant proposals. Why not try it for presentations too? It might work. And then one other idea is to make it the first task of the day. Now, when I'm trying to form a new habit or I'm trying to do something that maybe I'm not too motivated to do, I make it the first thing I do that day. This helps me a lot with exercise, actually. So, maybe the first thing you do when you get to the office is just spend a little bit of time on your slides. This could really help out. So that's just 4 accountability strategy ideas. There are more waiting for you in the toolkit. So hopefully you find one or more that really work for you. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you choose. It just matters that you choose something and you stick to it. And it's important to do this as step 2 because it's going to help you in step 3. So I want to hear from you. Before I get to step 3, I'm curious, what accountability strategies have worked for you in the past? Maybe not for presentations because that's probably what you're struggling with. It's probably why you're watching this video. So think of something else, some other habit you try to form. Again, maybe it's writing more often, something like that, or studying, or, whatever it is. What has worked for you in that situation? Maybe it'll work for you when it comes to presentations, or comment below so other people can see them, because maybe it'll help other people with their accountability strategies. Okay. So let's talk now about step 3. This is when you're finally getting into your action plan. You're finally going to work on your slides. And I've created a presentation design checklist that tells you what tasks to do, what week, and about how long in that week to spend working on your presentation. So this is in the toolkit, so you can download it and print it and use it for every presentation you work on if it's helpful. The most important thing is that you're going to have to start working on your slides early. And again, you're probably like, yeah, duh. That's why I'm watching this video, because I want to start working on it earlier. So how early should you start working on your presentations? And I'm going to tell you in the next slide. And I just want to warn you, it's probably going to be a shock when you first hear this number. So don't close out, watch the entire video. So you're going to want to start working on your presentation 8 weeks ahead of time. Now, again, don't leave, don't panic. Okay, it's not as bad as you think, I promise. And it is possible you can do this because it's really easy stuff. You're only going to do things like schedule time on your calendar over the next 8 weeks. You're going to do some prep work. You're going to do things like add to your visual database and maybe find existing slide decks that you want to use and incorporate information from. So that's it. And it's only about 30 minutes for that entire week. So it could be 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there. You can break it up. It's super easy stuff. And here's my best secret. And I'm kind of surprised that a lot of people don't do this, but I'll go to my calendar 8 weeks before the presentation and I'll write down 8 weeks before, whatever the presentation name is, conference presentation, guest lecture, job talk, whatever it is. And if 8 weeks in advance. But either way, I try to give as much notice as possible, and then I'll put 8 weeks before in my calendar. And then guess what I do? I do the same thing the next week. I write 7 weeks before, then 6 weeks before, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So 8 weeks ahead of time, every single week, I'm writing sort of a countdown. And this may seem weird, it may seem excessive, but this has done wonders to help me stop procrastinating. So if you haven't tried this before, I encourage you to give it a try, because that means it's always going to stay in your consciousness. And that's really, really important. And again, in that 8th week, you're starting with the easy stuff. You're starting with some fun things too, like looking for images for your slides. You're thinking, okay, what photos could I possibly use once I get working on this? You add them to your visual database, and it's just really fun stuff, honestly. And if the term visual database is new to you, don't worry, I am making a video just about that. So stay tuned. Okay, now that's, again, mostly your first week. You're getting things in your calendar and you're putting a plan for your accountability strategies, and that will help you actually work on your slides. So what do you think of that? Okay, so yeah, 8 weeks maybe sounded scary, but that's the kind of stuff you're going to start doing to ease you into it. Does that sound doable? Comment below. I want to hear from you. Okay, week 7, it's more prep work. So again, we're not really starting off with intense stuff. That's why it's so great to start early. You're going to do things like create your own custom template. Again, you're building onto your visual database. This is when you actually start copying and pasting information from other slides into your new presentation. And you're only going to spend about 30 minutes or an hour that entire week. And again, break it up, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, okay? So your second week is pretty easy too, just like that first week. And these are things that honestly, they don't require deep concentration. You could probably do this while multitasking or watching TV or something like that. Okay, now we're at about 6 to 5 weeks before your presentation, and you're still not going to actually open up and really touch your slides and start working on your content too much. You're going to think about your actual goals for the presentation, what you want to accomplish. You're going to do things like draft your outline and key points and start thinking through your narrative, your storyboard, how it's all going to fit together. You're going to draft your first opening and closing. Your opening is so important to hook your audience from start to finish. And then your closing is important because you actually want to make an impact with your presentation and not just sort of end. Okay. And of course, you're still going to be working on your visual database. And again, it's only about 30 to 60 minutes that entire week, which again, you can break up into multiple sessions. Imagine that 5 weeks before your presentation, instead of feeling anxiety and dread, you've already been working on it for a few weeks. You already have an idea of what you're going to say. You're going to have an outline. You've already done the prep work. You are going to have that big boost of confidence, and that's going to help you in the remaining weeks. So now we're at 4 to 2 weeks until presentation time. Now you roll up your sleeves and you really get into your slides. Okay, you're going to design your slides. You're going to revise your slides. You're going to start practicing, doing practice types 1 through 3. That's another video to keep an eye out for. This is when you work on your data viz and your animations. This is basically, weeks 4 to 2 until your presentation. You're working on your slides. That's basically what this is. And the time you spend each week will vary. So about 1 to 4 hours each week. It depends on a lot of different things that I won't get into in this video, but basically about 1 to 4 hours per week for a couple weeks. And it's so important that you start drafting and revising your slides 4 weeks before your presentation, because your first few drafts will need to be revised, but you already know that, right? You can't write a paper in 1 or 2 drafts. You know that it needs revisions, and not just a lot of time all at once. You know that sometimes you need a day in between just to think about it. That time in between is really important. Presentations are no different. That's why you want to start working on that kind of stuff about 4 weeks before your presentation, because it takes time to get it right. And I just want you to imagine what that's going to feel like, that a couple weeks before your presentation, how are you going to feel? If you've been following that plan, you're going to feel ready. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel excited about your high quality presentation that's going to really showcase your work. Because then in that last week, you can maybe do practice type 4. That's the full dress rehearsal. Again, keep an eye out for that other video where I explain this. This is when you're doing final revisions, very minor things, minor tweaks, because you've already put in the work. This is when you create your custom handout. And then maybe the day before, all you have to do is small, tiny bursts of practice, practice types 2 and 3. So this might be about 1 to 3 hours. And imagine that you followed this process and you're in the hall, you're waiting to give your presentation, you're looking over your slides, and you're feeling fantastic. You're feeling great. You're feeling confident that you're going to deliver a stellar presentation. That's how I want you to feel before every single presentation moving forward. That's what that presentation design checklist will hopefully help you with. Now, contrast that to waiting to give your presentation in the hall and you're looking over your slides going, oh man, this is not my best work. I did it again. I got overwhelmed. I saved it to the last second. This is really not a true reflection of my skill set. That feeling sucks, and I want you to never feel that again. So we both know you're not really going to remember all of that in this video, which is why I have made all of these tips and more for free for you to download. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, I do need to give you the heads up that this checklist is based on the assumption that you already know how to design effective and engaging presentations. You can't squeeze in learning while also trying to follow that checklist. It's overwhelming, and that is honestly how you set yourself up to fail. So you're going to want to make sure that you're done with your professional development before you even start this checklist. Okay, so what's in this free toolkit that I have mentioned in this video? Well, it includes a guide to help you meet your presentation related goals and end your procrastination. It has a couple sheets to help you reflect on what went well in the last year and maybe what challenges you faced and some ideas for, how to overcome them in the next year. Again, this includes a list of accountability strategies for you to check out. And then you also get the presentation design checklist that I gave an overview of in this video, plus more tips for success and an action plan cheat sheet. So even more tips than I've shared in this video and helpful worksheets to help you the next time you want to create a presentation. So the link for downloading that for free is in the description below. And that does it for this video. If you are ready to get serious about improving your presentations and that professional development, then enroll in my free course, Stellar Slides in 5. It is a great place to get started, and you're going to want to start today because, like I said, you're going to want to have all of your training done before you even work on that checklist, which starts 8 weeks before your next presentation. So the sooner the better, and I hope to see you in that course today. You can totally do this, and I am here to help you and support you. Alrighty, friends, if you are in Blast Off to Stellar Slides, my paid online course, check out the community for links to all of these photos. Plus, I made a really short bonus video about something cool I did that you might not have noticed. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with others. That really lets YouTube know that this is a good video and will help other people see it too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified with my next video, which will be next week. So yeah, thanks for helping me end death by PowerPoint. I will see you in the next video. Bye.